All right, hello everybody. Welcome to another Flip the Switch call. My name is Lilia Camacho. I'm one of your field development managers here at LifeVantage. Just want to thank you all for taking the time to be here tonight. We'll give everybody just a few minutes to get signed in. We have a wonderful lineup for you guys. If it's your very first time joining us today, we do join in at 7 p.m. Mountain Standard Time here every Tuesday. We review the company opportunity with one of our top leaders here at LifeVantage, and we also review success stories that are going on throughout the field. If this is your very first time joining us today, please drop a 1 in the chat. I love to see all the first timers and newcomers joining us. And if you've been here second, maybe 3, multiple times, drop a 2 in the chat and leave a little comment for our newcomers. Let them know how awesome these calls are. I hope you guys have pen and paper ready to take some good notes. You guys will definitely get a lot of good nuggets from tonight's call. And whoever invited you to this call today, please thank them. You guys are definitely in for a treat. And I see that we already have people flowing in. We have people from Maine joining us, Kansas City, Colorado. Awesome. Alabama. I like it when we go coast to coast. It really lets me know when we have everybody here when I start to see international folks. There's Canada, Michigan. Awesome. All right, the comments are starting to flow in, guys. Well, we do have an awesome call stored here for you guys today. Today we have one of the original LifeVantage pioneers, honestly, that was able to blaze the trail for all of the distributors that you guys see here today. I like how Skylar referred to him in our weekly update earlier this week. He is one of the godfathers of LifeVantage. He's a Master PRO10 here with us. And for those of you who may not know, a Master PRO10 here at LifeVantage generates over $1 million in sales volume on a month-to-month basis. Aside of that, though, in the 10 years that he's been with us, over 10 years, he's been able to mentor other leaders and really build a good foundation for our company. Along with a successful business and helping create leaders in our industry, he enjoys helping others go full-time in what they love. And he's also a fully engaged dad at home. And I came to find out today he's a grandpa of 8. So through his busy schedule, he found the time to be here with us today. Everybody help me show some love in the chat for Marcell Niederhauser. How are you today, Marcell?
I'm doing good. And you're such kind words. I just love and appreciate you. And it was good to spend a little time getting to know you. I love your story. And that's what we're talking about, you guys, is we all have stories. I feel a little, I feel like I need to share something with all of you. And that is for the last 2 days, I have been down at the LifeVantage office with the FAB board and corporate. And my takeaway from this last 2 days, there's a few things. One of it is all of those people that sat in that room on the distributor side, including myself and all of the corporate, they love and care about all of you, and all of the things that we talked about and went through. Every bit of it was on your behalf. None of it was on the behalf of us. It was on the behalf of you guys. This company cares, and then the unity and the cohesiveness that was displayed. I feel closer with my colleagues than I ever have, and the things that we discussed, you're going to see in the near future the results of today's conversation. And here's what I love, you guys, is despite all of our different personalities and despite all of our different philosophies, we all came together on, I'm going to say, behaviors and principles that are income-inducing principles and behaviors, and also results-oriented principles and behaviors. And we agree that we all believe that that is a focus that not only us as leaders are going to, we already focus on them, but we're going to make that a priority of focus so that we can teach by example and lead by example those principles and behaviors. And then something we really emphasized this weekend was basics, doing the basics. And I'm going to share a little bit of a story about me for those of you that don't know me. And then I'm going to do an overview of this compensation plan, but I'm going to do it in a way. I want you guys to understand that before I got into this industry, I knew nothing about it. And I'm just like all of you and just like anybody else. Before you're ever introduced or before you ever get involved, somebody has to contact you. And I want to go through that because there's a lot of new people on here and there's a lot of people that have been around for a little while. I want to renew that information of the things that increases people's chances of having success in this industry. And so with that being said, again, I love those guys I just spent 2 days with. And think about this. You've got all these people that are self-made. They've created their own businesses in their own right. And we do have egos. I am not going to lie. We do. But they were all checked at the door. Now, do you think we all sat down and just mapped everything out and was done and there was no disagreements or anything like that? There wasn't. But the professional way everything handled and people were able to express themselves, we are in good hands, you guys. And these things that we talked about and these things that we are all together on, I feel, well, let me ask you guys, does focusing on the basics and focusing on principles and behaviors that create results, and as an entire company, we're all on the same page and we're all telling our stories around that? Is there anybody on here? Put a 1 in the chat box if that is something that you could get behind yourselves. And that's how I felt walking out. So anyway, put a 1 down in the chat box if that's something that you feel. And for those of you that are brand new tonight, that are looking at this for the first time, that'll make sense later. Now, like she said, I'm a founding member. Tyler and I and a bunch of other distributors that are Master Pro 11s and Pro 10s in this company, we were there in the beginning when we had the opportunity to take this product off the shelves of GNC and put it into the network marketing arm. And so that was over 11 years ago. But that's not where my story starts. In order for me to relate to a lot of you that are just doing this for the first time, I got to go clear back to when I was 28 years old. And I'm not going to do the dates. They already call me a grandfather, so they've already referred to that I'm old. And so I'm not going to confirm that one way or the other. But anyway, I got to go back to when I was 28 years old and when I got this. So this is the story I'm going to tell you. And then we're going to focus on this company and on this opportunity based around this experience I'm going to share with you. So here I am, 28. I've never heard of network marketing, and I get a phone call, and my wife told me that Chris and Marina are coming over tonight, and they're going to show us a business opportunity. Right now, I'm going to school to be an engineer, and I started my own landscaping maintenance company, and I got three clients. That's all I got at the time. I'm working for somebody else doing the same thing, and since I never heard about it or any red flags flared up, I just said, fine, what time they coming over? And I made sure I was home. They came over and then they went through their whole entire compensation plan and they told me all about the company. And when they drew out the circles and they showed me a way that if I worked really hard, I could supplement my income and one day maybe have choices in my life to be able to do whatever I want. And I got to tell you guys, I saw that. And if any of you are like me, when we're not really educated on something, we see something that seems so awesome, because that's why I was going to school. That's why I was going to my own business. I wanted a better life than just working for somebody for minimum wage or however that looks. And anyway, I looked across the table at the guy and I said, Jim, if you're lying to me, I'm going to kill you. Those were my words. Now, obviously, you guys, I've grown a lot since then. But when I tell stories, I have to tell them the way that they happened. And so bear with me on that. But those were my words. And that's how I got started. But here's the part that I think you guys are going to relate to. I went to school the next day because I was in college. And I thought I'd found the golden goose. And I was so excited to share this with everybody. And what I found out is I'm the only one that never heard about it. And everybody else didn't want anything to do with it. Now, those were the people I was talking to. And because of the way that I handled myself back then, we debated. They missed hours of school. And it got to the point where they started ignoring me. There were people on point that if they saw me walking across the quad, they would send everybody else somewhere else. That's how annoying it got, because I sat down and got information, and these people were rejecting me before they even got the information. But I found out I was talking way too much, and I was getting offended because they weren't listening to me and they weren't seeing the same thing I was seeing, but they weren't giving me the chance to show them anything. And so it took me, I'm not going to tell you how long, but it took me a long period of time. Well, it took me 8 months to sponsor my first person. So there's a good clue. It took me 12 years to make what a PRO7 can make in this company on this journey. So what I can say is over those 12 years, I learned a lot of things not to do. Matter of fact, anything you can dream of, I've already done. Because there's nobody from that one day that they sat down and shared this information for me, there was nobody that wanted what this could, the results that this could produce and give me those choices in my life that I wanted. And so I wanted it bad. But see, here's what I found. And this is my secret to you, is I learned that I made a good decision based off of information. And so what I had to figure out, and this took me a long time, is how can I figure out a way that I can get this information in front of people? And I also found out, well, over the years, I found out there's a couple phases. Now, this is my perception of network marketing or this industry, and that is there's a gathering phase and then there's a development phase. And the more simpler you access or process or do the gathering phase, so the more things that you do that are simplistic, other people can do. And if they're result producing, it will replicate down through your business, if that makes any sense. And so I realized I got to figure out a way that instead of arguing with people, get them to listen to me. Now, we have a name for that, but I learned all this the hard way. It's called ITT, Invite Team Tool, or Invite Tool Team. Okay. And I had to figure out how to get people to, how to invite them and get them in front of either a tool or a team. You do those in whatever order you can, but I wanted to get the information in front of people. And until I could actually do a presentation that, let's just say, made sense, I would use a team member to help me do that, or I would use a tool. And if the tool, sometimes, I want you to know that sometimes people don't look at the tool, but I don't use that as an excuse not to get back with them. Because remember, I'm trying to get into their lives or into their living rooms, or however you do that, or on a post. I'm trying to sit down with them and give them the information that I got so that they can make a good decision. And I found too, one of the things that simplify things is you tell the whole story. So if you got a company over here, and that's what I'm going to do today when we go over this overview, I'm going to tell you the whole story. And I found out that when you told them the whole story, they could make an intelligent decision. And when they did, the results that I got from that were a lot better when I only told half the story. Does that make sense? We always get a result. We either get a yes or a no. And I got to be honest with you, I've had a lot more no's than I've had yeses, but all the yeses I've had have allowed me to have a lot of choices in my life and to do things in my life that I never dreamed of. And like she said, one of them is I'm very excited about being a full-time dad. I don't have any kids left, actually. So just this year, our youngest moved out, so we are empty nesters, but now I'm a full-time grandpa. And I'm telling you, that was one of my goals. But I had an opportunity with 4 out of the 5 kids to be present in their lives for most of their high school, and some of them all through grade school and high school. And they come home, and I love it. A lot of people can't wait till they get out and go move on, and I want them to move on. But I love our kids, and our grandkids are our world. Mine and Lisa's world revolve around that. And everything that we've ever done and every amount of money that we've ever made has been poured into experiences and traveling the world with them. And just that's what I saw when they came over to my house. So I share that with people. I tell my story, the company story, and how you get paid, because I found when I'm talking to somebody, I got to find some kind of connection there, and I got to actually find out what they want too. And then as we sit down and start to talk, the one thing that I always address first, now this is me, and it's a few other people. If you ever heard Tyler speak, he's the same. But I want to talk about the industry first. Now, we've already gone from contacting and inviting and the tool. Now we're sitting down. Now we're at a presentation. I'm sitting in front of somebody, and I will start the question about network marketing. I might bring it up. They already know a little bit, but I start to talk about. I start taking care of all of the obstacles. Now, this is something I want you guys to realize. Over that long period of time that took me to get 12 years into it, I had to figure out how to communicate with people. And what I found is I became a problem solver. So every time I met with somebody, they always had obstacles or excuses why they couldn't do anything. And I found out through trial and error and going through all of these things, wanting this so bad and not getting it, wondering why everybody else is succeeding. I found out that I've got to help these people solve their obstacles, how to get over that obstacle. So I became a problem solver. And one of the things that I realize is a lot of people are hung up on network marketing. One of the first things they ask you or say to you, it's illegal or it's a pyramid. And you guys, I've got hundreds, well, not hundreds, but I got lots of different answers for that. But I'll share one with you. And so I start talking to them about the big companies, the billion-dollar companies, because there's a couple things I want to gain from that. And that is if you ever heard of Amway or Newskin or Melaleuca or Mary Kay, these guys are doing $1 billion worth of sales in this industry. And like Amway, they've been around for a very long time. And if they were illegal or if they were a pyramid, which really emphasizes that they think they're illegal, I don't think they would have been in business for a long time. And you guys, you got to understand, I go through a lot of different scenarios when I'm talking about that. But the thing I emphasize that I really, really like about when I use those is people are able to do analytics and they're able to go back and study things. And one of the studies that have been done is they looked at all of these. See, there's been a lot of network marketing companies. There's actually been a lot of companies, period, no matter if it's traditional marketing or network marketing, that have come into the industry and within 2 to 5 years, they fell. And so one of the studies they did, or one of the things they analyzed was what was present in this company before it exploded, before it became $1 billion company. You know, what was it that we can look for? And these elements or these components, I call them components. That's what I want to talk to you about. Is I'm going to identify those. And then as I go through and explain to you how I view LifeVantage, I want you to ask yourself, is those components that I'm talking to you about present in our opportunity today? Because we have found that this helps you decide, where should I spend my time, my money, and my energy? You know, where should I put that? Because I don't know if a company is going to be around 2 and 5 years from now. Now, I got to tell you a secret. We've been around for 11 years and we're a $200 million something company. We're debt free. We have cash in the bank. We're not going anywhere. So that wasn't the case all the time, but that's what it is now. But I want you to still ask yourself, are these components? And there's more than one: company, timing, trends, compensation, product. But I want to focus on 4. I want to talk to you about the timing. And if you feel after I get done, if you can see that we have timing in this company, then check that box off. I want to talk to you about product. And then I'm going to talk to you about compensation. And then one thing that we do have here that sometimes when you get started in the industry, it's mentorship. You don't have that. The mentorship is being developed. Everyone's going through the experiences so that they can lead that base of people to the top of the company. Sometimes they don't exist, but it exists here. And some of those leaders were piled up today, the last 2 days, discussing that. But they're not the only leaders in this company. There are other Pro10s and other Pro9s and other Pro8s. We'll talk about what those ranks actually mean, but that are in this company too. And so I just want you to know that there's mentorship. What does that mean? That means there has somebody that has already done what you're trying to do. And in this industry, it's beneficial if those people that have had success, if they're willing to help you, did what they did to get to where they're at. And so that's how I handle that. Now, there's other things you can say too, and other people have other ideas, but those are some of the main things that I focus on. So let's get started. If any of you guys have seen a graph that's a timing chart, one of the things that we look for is how soon are we in? One of the indicators is are we still in the formulation stage? Have we gone past that? Or are we in the stabilization stage? That's when the company's already gone through its growth curve. And if you've got in when they're already gone through their growth curve, then it's too late to capture the growth of the company. Now, I told you we're 11 years old, but let's address that with these comments. One thing that they found before the company goes through critical mass, and that is where you hit a certain number of distributors making a certain amount of noise, producing a certain amount of volume into the company, it picks up energy and goes into exponential growth. And when the companies hit that, and this is what was so awesome about the billion-dollar companies, is they all hit that and they found that these components were present prior to that growth curve. So they found that the first 150,000 people, the first 150,000 have the opportunity to participate in that growth curve. And so what I'm looking for, participate in generational growth. That meant a lot to me because I liked it. I didn't know what it meant in the very beginning, but it sounded really good. And we have over 135,000 people active in this company today as distributors. And then we've got customers and we've had people come and go. But we live in a world right now, you guys, where there's 8 billion people. And if we have if it's distributors and customers, if we have 135 of them, that means, well, I don't want to use the number 8 billion, but they found in order for a company to hit $1 billion, they have to have 1 million distributors. So I like to focus on that when I'm talking about timing. Okay. So if it's a first 150,000 and we only have 100,000 worldwide, I don't know what the exact number is in the United States, but that's where a lot of us are right now. And does that sound like we have a little bit of an opportunity? We're still in obscurity. Nobody knows who we are. We are still a secret. 11 years later, we are still a secret. Now, is the message gone out? Yeah, that's all happened, but we haven't hit our growth curve. And I believe with the product we have and the compensation we have and the timing that we have, we're going to hit that. Now, I've listened to lots of people predict when. I'm not a predictor. I'll tell you when I see the base leadership group come in that cause that. See, that's where we're at right now, you guys. We are gathering the next level of leaders that are going to take us to that next mark. That's what we're doing here tonight. That's what we're always doing. All I'm telling you is all of you that are on this call right now, you have an opportunity to be in front of something that hasn't ever happened before. And I'll tell you why that is in just a second when I get on the product. Now, so if we need 1 million distributors to do $1 billion and we got less than 100,000 in the company, that means we need to gather 900,000 more distributors. Does that seem like maybe there's an opportunity for you to get involved and participate? When we go through our growth curve, that's when 80% of the distributor force will come into the company that will take it into stabilization. We're not even close yet. So to me, I emphasize that. But see, we've just been waiting for you. We've just been waiting for you to get involved so that you don't miss out on the exponential growth. Now, so with that being said, let me talk to you why I think we are the greatest opportunity ever. And that is because in 2003, a product was discovered, and that product was proven. It's called Nerve 2. It's called PRO10. And it was proven that in a 30-day period of time that it will reduce oxidative stress in 30 days. We watched a national news clip that showed it happening. And so what is oxidative stress? As we get older, our oxidative stress increases. And as it increases, it makes us vulnerable to all kinds of things. And so people ask me what oxidative stress is. And I just say, hey, go to pubmed.gov, type in oxidative stress and any other thing that you can imagine and see the information that comes back. And it'll tell you why I think, or I know that this is the most important supplement I believe that a human being can take. And why this puts us different, because I don't know of any other company that has a Nerve 2 product that has the ABC news clip that validates what they found it does. It validates what they found in 2003, what they started to claim, and it reduces oxidative stress. And then we go into over 27, 30 peer-reviewed studies. There's 8 billion in the people in the world that have oxidative stress. And now we have the product. See, I heard this message a little over 12 years ago. And I got really excited about being different. I got really excited about not having to go out there and explain to people why my product's better than your product. Because of the technology age we live in, one of the things that we've done, we've simplified. I can now point to the science. I can now point people in the direction that they need without me becoming the scientist or me becoming knowing everything about it. Now, I tell you that because remember earlier when I said, I keep things simple. Matter of fact, when I get done talking to somebody, the result I'm looking for is those people going, if that guy can do this, I'm going to kill it. That's what I'm looking for. So I don't ever try to go in there thinking I'm the smartest person in the room. I always say, I don't know, but I can find out. Okay. As I'm doing this, I'm actually interjecting things that I learned along the way that helped me, so that when I was out doing meetings and doing presentations and doing those things, I wanted to get the best result I could. And these are the things that I found that really elevated me in that area. So I've talked about timing. I've covered the product. I love the product. I've taken it for 12 years. I can't even begin to tell you that I will never go without it. And from the first time I watched that news clip until today, I thought I'd be taking the product for the rest of my life. I didn't know I was going to get involved with the company, but I thought I'd be taking the product for the rest of my life because I do have oxidative stress. Now, another thing that I sit down and talk to people about is I know there's a statistic out there that when people work for 45 years of their life and they hit 65, they retire. And so I bring up that and we talk about it. And then I ask them, what are you doing? People that choose to use linear income, where they own their own business or they've gone to school to be a professional in something or whatever the case is, that's linear. So I asked them, what are your plans? Because that was mine. I had a landscaping business at this time when I heard this. See, these are the things I heard a long time ago, and it's still present today. I was making money. I had 4 or 5 trucks, work trucks. I had boats. I had snowmobiles. And at that time, the bank owned them, and I was just borrowing them and making payments every month, if that makes sense. But I was spending money just as fast as I could make it. And in my business, it was seasonal. So as it went like this, sometimes I'd have good years, sometimes I'd have bad years. I'd put money in investments. And then when I was going through a bad year, I'd have to stop funding them. I mean, just the things that happen to people in life, this happened to me. And so when they came over and shared this with me, they said, we're going to show you how to create an asset that will help supplement your income as you, at whatever age, supplement your income. It took me 12 years to go full time in the industry. So it took me a little bit longer to supplement my income in that aspect. But anyway, this is what happened to me. So I sit down, I have this conversation because these are real things. These are things that people are going through. And so I talked to them about building a 2 to 5 year asset with leveraged income. And I, at 40 years old, was able to supplement my income. And that was my goal. That's what I saw when they came over to my house and I threatened that guy that if he was lying to me, that's what I saw. I saw a way that I could supplement my income and give myself choices that however I wanted to make money the rest of my life, I could do it however I wanted. And I like leveraged. Okay. Now, then I'm going to talk a little bit about the mentoring and, kind of when we get to a point and we get somebody involved, we got to sit down and teach them how to become business owners. And so when I'm doing that, we're talking to them about running their business. We're talking to them about a subscription order. See, at LifeVantage, we have more than one product, you guys. We have a whole catalog. I emphasize Nerf 2 because Nerf 2 differentiates us from everybody else. It makes us different. And so when I'm sitting down and talking to them, doing a subscription order, that is, for me, is you maintain your business. If you're a customer, you take your product, you get them at a discount. And so I look at the other products we have. We have products in health. We have products in animals. We got skincare. We got smart energy, and we got smart weight management. And as I'm talking to these people, I say, do you ever spend money in this category in health? And the answer is always yes. Do you ever spend money in skincare? Yes. So I show them how to redirect their money that they're already spending, because sometimes when we own our own business and we're doing extra, we think it's money out of our pocket. And what I use this information for is to show them how to redirect it and just buy from their own business. Now, sometimes, yeah, the products are a little bit more expensive than what we can buy downtown sometimes. But one of the things I found is I've always owned my own business. At the end of the month, my supplemental income comes in. And these other places that I was purchasing, I wasn't getting that. I know some things have changed now in time, but for the average person, that's kind of how it works. And so now that's how I talk to them about how they get involved and how they can take advantage of the business opportunity. And as I go through the compensation plan. And one of the things that I really like that our compensation plan did is, and I'm just going to highlight this, is it paid you to actually go out and help other people. There's a unilevel that they pay you 9 levels of compressed volume. And if you will help people, and I'm going to show you here in a minute, income disclosure that we have in the company, that I will pull that out before I go through this compensation plan. And I will just show them what people in our company are already actually making. And then I'll ask them to pull out, kind of choose where would be the first place that you would think would be beneficial for you to put some time into this and start to build this asset. And they always, whatever they point to me, I'm not, everybody's different, whatever they point to me, I can go to the compensation plan and reverse engineer that and show them what they'd have to do work-wise to develop that type of income. And I also like it too, we're a publicly traded company, because one of the things too about the industry that people always say is, well, it never works. Well, our income disclosure shows that that's not a true statement. It actually does. And then, so I will show them how to take advantage of that unilevel and create what we call the monthly income. And then I'll also show them how to participate in the enrollment bonuses. And that's based off of, the activity doing as we bring people into business. And then it's also important, how do we set those people up into business? And then one of the bonuses I really like is the matching bonus, because it incentivized me to go down and help other people. And it's not just the people that I'm matching, but it's the people underneath them, because as the volume rolls up, that percentage goes up, and it just creates an environment where everybody's getting help if we understand it that way. And then, man, one of them that I got real excited about is the 4%. I call it the global bonus, or I call it the profit share, or the elite pool. It's got all kinds of names, but it's a 4% bonus where the company takes 4% of the revenue, puts it into a pool, and divides it up amongst the top 4 positions of the company. The top 4 participate in one of the pools. The top 3, so 7, 8, 9s, and 10s participate in one of the 1%. 8, 9s, and 10s participate. Now, let me word that right. All 4, when you're a Pro 10, you participate in all 4 of them. When you're a Pro 9, you participate in 3 of them. When you're a Pro 8, you participate in 2 of them. And when you're a Pro 7, you participate in 1 of them. And so I use that as a platform to incentivize people why it would be significant for them to supplement their income just a little bit more based off the percentage that are being made available. And you gotta understand, everybody doesn't want, like I said, they all have this certain range of income that they want to come in at. So if you'll pull up that income disclosure real fast, I'd love to pop through that. So if you look, I just want to go to the averages. So if you come over here and you look at Pro 1, Pro 2, Pro 3, Pro 4, Pro 5, Pro 6, Pro 7, Pro 8, you see the average 7, 61, 24. I want you to go with that Pro 5 and look at that. It's $3,100 a month is what the average distributor in LifeVantage is making at this point. And I look at that income, and that's usually where a lot of people point their finger at. Don't get me wrong, $1,400 a month is a lot of money too, but $36,000 a year. And I just got to tell you, never mind. I got a job. I got a job offer once it was $28,000 a year. And I'd already been doing my landscaping business. So I'd already had a taste of what it looked like when you worked all day and all night for yourself and what kind of money I was making. And when I started doing the math, if I divide 28 by 2, it's just a little under $2,000 a month. And I'd already been used to living on about $8,000 a month. And so that really shook me. Now there's a lot of story behind that, but I just remember that, but $36,000 a month, $28,000 a month, that's a lot of money to somebody that's only making 12, or somebody that's going to school, or somebody that's struggling, or somebody that changes people's lives. I heard a long time ago that $500 a month coming into a household changes everything drastically, saves marriages, does all these things, everything that I've talked to you about tonight. It's not about money, it's about choices. But money will allow you to make choices, and depending on, if we look at these ranks in this company, depending on where you come in at, or where you end up, you can see how your choices change. And then I look at the Pro 7. That is when I was able to make the decision and choose to put my time into helping develop other leaders, helping the company to grow, just spending all my time in this industry helping people. And I can't even explain to you how that's affected our life and my wife and our kids. And so when you're able to spend, mom and dad spend the quality time with kids that are in high school, grade school, and you're present all the time, you're doing stuff with them all the time, there's no guarantees, but it's made a big impact. We're very, very, very close family. And the things that we've been able to do, it just increases your choices. So Pro 7 was life-changing for me. That was actually the number that allowed me to make those decisions. And then you can go on and you can see what the average Pro 10 and the average executive, those numbers are real. I know a lot of people that are making that kind of money, and I know it's possible because somebody's been able to do it. But when I focus on this, I focus on what the individual is looking for. Now, my question to you is, with a little bit of practice, and maybe you're thinking, hey, you probably need a little bit of practice yourself. But with a little bit of practice, do me a favor and put down in the chat box a 1 if you believe with that little bit of practice that you can actually do what I just did. Well, I overexceeded myself. I usually, when I speak in front of people, if I can just inspire one person to get excited about what I'm doing and they're willing to do what I'm doing, and they actually go out and build this business, I've accomplished everything I've set out to do. And that's inspiring to me, you guys, to see all those ones pop up down at the bottom. Again, I wanted to take this from a vantage point where I was just showing you what I learned through my own experience on how to deliver information, on how to talk to things that people are experiencing, things that they're going through. And how I found that out is I was going through the same thing. I wanted choices in my life. And so I'm grateful for the person that invited me and showed me this industry. And so you fast forward to 11 years, when we started LifeVantage, I didn't have to learn all of that over again. I didn't have to figure out how to talk to people or how to get the information in front of them. I already knew that. And we were able to take those skills that we had developed and grow this business fast and experience that. And when we first enrolled, we didn't have product. It was sitting on the shelves at GNC and they were redoing the company. So we had a 90-day run before we actually started to see the sales of product. And here's the one thing, because we already had the ABC Primetime. We had one peer review that came out and then another one followed. And so they weren't fully out. But as that product started to circulate, the things that the people were saying about it and how the quality of life was changing, it told me that people would take this product forever. And I got excited about that because, you guys, I'm making a difference. I'm not just here to help people, get choices in their life and supplement their income. I also want to make an impact in their life. And so for all these years that I've been in this company, I've heard everything. I'm not going to repeat any of it, but I've heard it all. And for brand new people, you will have that experience as you start to go through this. But my question is, can you check off, can you guys agree with me? Put a 1 down in the box. This is the only way I can communicate with you. If you believe now that we have timing in this company. Do you believe we have a product that could be life-changing no, I can't say that. A product that is category creating, something that where nobody else has it. We have something that puts us in the forefront, makes us different. Can you guys put a 1 down there if you think that's something we could check off that box? And then, you think there's a compensation? Because I've always found if I'm not going to be paid for doing something, but you think that there's a compensation plan based off the little bit of information I give you. I mean, put a 1 down there. So if you could check off those boxes. Now, I've already established that there's mentorship in the company. And I already know that your leaders, my colleagues, and anybody that's in my organization, we already know we love and care about you. And we want to help you get to where we're at. So there is mentorship. There are people that have made it to the top. We saw that in the income disclosure, and they're willing to help you do the same by providing their time and their expertise and their experiences and their knowledge and telling you stories and doing all those things. Okay, now one thing that I did not bring up, and back in 2009, I don't know, this is when we got started in LifeVantage. I don't know if you guys remember, but the economy wasn't doing so hot. And here we are in 2021. We just went through a pandemic. We have all been cooped up. We've all just been interacting with people through technology, like we are tonight through Zoom. And it's been it's been awesome because it was better than not. But we've had some things change, and we've had their lives have been disrupted. And there's been some impact on people that's undescribable. Like, this has been one of the most unbelievable things I've ever seen in my life. And I do want to say, on the 15th of every single month, my supplemental income came in from the work I did 12 years ago, 11 years ago, 10 years ago, 9 years ago, 8, 7, 8, all the way down to what I did last week. And I know that when there's a disruption, people's minds are open. They're more receptive. And so what you've got to do is figure out, like I did, how to communicate a message with them. I love ITT. You invite, you give them a tool, you introduce them to a team. Before I got to understand things, I was using the tools and I was introducing them to my upline. When I started to understand things, I became the team. And I have all different examples on how to use that, but I'm telling you right now, inviting, it's an activity that you do often. One of the things I like to teach people is you do that 15 times or more, 15 minimum or more. Now I said or more. I love that because if you're putting this information in front of people, other people can make an intelligent decision. Does that make sense? That is how you attract. And then you use ITT to close that deal. I'm just so excited I talked about those components, and we talk about them as being converging forces. And they all, when those line up all at the same time, and you can't control what's going on in the economy, and you can't control when pandemics hit, you don't have any control of that. But when all that happens at the same time, and then all of these components are present, and you're sitting in front of a company like we have, your opportunity or your chances of having a success in this industry have increased. There's no guarantees, but everything is in your favor. The only person getting between you and those opportunities is the person staring at you in the mirror. I just looked at, we're pretty much 5 minutes over time. I hope that was helpful. Put a 1 down in the chat and ask yourself, was that helpful? Did you learn anything? Because my goal tonight was not to show you how great of a presentation or how great Marcell was, because obviously you find out I'm just like you, but I wanted you to be able to walk away from this not going, holy crap, I see things differently now. This isn't as complicated as I made it, because the people that can, in the gathering phase, that can keep, the ones that can keep it simple will move from the gathering stage to the development stage, and that's where you're developing leaders. And that stuff will replicate through your organization. We teach it all by example. Everything that I've ever done to get to where I'm at, it's been done by example. And so the simpler you make it, the faster you go. The more complicated you make it, the longer you stay in the gathering phase. That's my viewpoints on this. So that being said, I'm going to turn it back to you, young lady. I appreciate the opportunity. I'm grateful that LifeVantage had enough confidence in me to be able to let me speak to all of you. And you know, you guys have an awesome night.
Thanks, Marcell. I saw the chat going crazy after you threw out those really nuggets for us to really take off of. It sounds like everybody's ready to take their business to the next level. I love your call to action, and I'm ready to see that amongst the field. Please get back to the person that invited you to this call. Thank them, ask them any questions. We are here to help, as Marcell said. We are a team of mentorship, and we're ready for that. Please join us on Saturday for our next Success Mastery, where we'll be hosting our LVA, and you don't want to miss that. It's going to be 2 hours of golden nuggets for you guys. And thanks again for your time. You guys have a good one.